Hey y'all, and welcome back to Skyrim Scripting. This is episode 5 of our short 5-episode series of getting you set up quick with everything you need to write Skyrim mods quickly and efficiently and in a good, pleasant way, in a setup that I enjoy. So far we've set up mod managers, we set up Skyrim, we set up the creation kit, and in the last episode we set up Visual Studio Code with its debugger plugin for writing scripts themselves. And in this episode, as you can see, we're going to install a large variety of all of the other tools. So far, our episodes have been 5 minutes, 13 minutes, 12 minutes, and 42 minutes last time. My bad. So let's see how quickly we can get through this so that I can post this up online. So I kind of want to keep that list up open in the background. We are going to start with the Bethesda Archive Extractor. And to kind of walk through this episode, I think we need a mod downloaded so that we can look at all the files inside of a mod and walk through all of the files that we're learning how to work with. So I'm just going to grab one of my favorite mods. This is Alternate Start. I'm just going to do the manual download so I can extract this in my download folder, and we'll look at all of the files inside of it. We don't need any of this stuff anymore. I'm just going to extract it here. So here's everything inside of it. The first thing we want to do is we want to be able to open up these BSA, Bethesda Softworks archives. So let's install BAE, the Bethesda Archive Extractor, to do that. You can find it here on Nexus. I'll include all these in the video description notes, so if you want to, you can just click on a bunch of links there. This is going to be a manual download. And I'm going to start putting all of these inside the tool directory, tools rather, that we set up in the mod managers episode. So I've got tools over here so that I've got a quick way to get back to all of the tools. Now we can open up Bethesda Archive Extractor just directly, but instead I'm just going to double click on one of these BSA archives so that we associate it so we never have to go find the app. So I'm going to go to Tools because I've added it to my quick access. It's easy to get to. Here's BAE, and just open up BAE and it's going to pop up. So now we can see that this BSA has some sound files, some scripts, and some meshes. So let's just extract the whole thing to our downloads folder. And this downloads folder has one other BSA file for textures. So it's this other one that you can now see an icon next to. It's got textures in it. We'll extract it to the download folder. Okay. We can edit INI files of this kind. We'll go through different INI files. We'll get to ESP files. So let's start with meshes. So let's get NIF scope so that we can edit NIFs. And we'll do the same thing after we get it. We will associate it. So it's NIF scope with a K. You'll usually find it on GitHub. Don't go to the SourceForge, that's old. It'll usually link to the releases. If you end up on the homepage for the GitHub, go to the right and find the releases. Ooh, let me fix my mouse cursor. I can't believe I've been doing this whole series. Ooh, there's an alarm. The alarm means I have a meeting soon. Let's install NifScope. Way down here. We want the 7-zip. We're going to save it. We're going to open it. We are going to extract it, and we're going to put it into our tools folder. I'll just rename it to something simple like NifScope without the long version. And as soon as we throw it into our tools folder, we are going to go into our meshes, grab a mesh, and just open up a NIF file, and we'll associate it with NifScope. Boop, boop, boop. Ta-da! Cool. We won't look at that in detail. What we will do is go through this file list, so we'll go to textures next. And for that, we're going to want something that can open up DDS files, and we'll use GIMP and its DDS plugin. So let's grab GIMP really quickly. Download and GIMP DDS plugin. Plug in, not M. Don't plug in. Directly download GIMP. And while that goes, let's grab the DDS plugin. You can get it from downloads. You don't want the source code, you want the 64-bit binaries. So grab that zip. We'll just save that. And while GIMP installs, let's kick off the installer. It might do a black screen where I have to click OK with Windows. Come on, installer, go. Install for all users. That's wonderful. There's a black screen where I had to hit yes, and now I'm going to hit OK. Install. I'll let this go in the background. And we can extract this GIMP DDS Win32 Win64 directory. And this README tells us exactly where we're going to put it, so we'll do that as soon as the GIMP has finished installing. And now that that's finished installing, we'll just click Finish. We'll go to this path that it tells us where to install, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to open up a new Explorer window with Control N, and I'm going to just type up here, and I'm going to go to that path. It's got all kinds of little folders that all have little executable files. We have a folder with a little executable file, so I'm just going to drag this folder over, making sure not to put it inside one of these folders. One way to easily do that is I'm just going to Control C the folder, go over here, select nothing, and Control V. Yes, I would like to do it. Now we can associate this textures. I don't know, that one. Associate with GIMP. It'll open up. The very first time GIMP opens, it takes substantially longer to load all of its plugins. So I'll let it go. And it opened. Sure, we can load mini-maps, and we'll say OK. And here it looks like some cool war paint tattoo thing. So now these are all associated, so you can open up your DDS files, and you can also export to DDS, which is what I normally do. Hit OK, and I guess that's just skin texture or something. So downloads. Now next folder is scripts. We of course are familiar with our PSC source code scripts, but we want to have an association for PEX scripts. Those are the compiled versions. So we are going to search for the Papyrus decompiler, which is called Champollion or something of that nature. I don't know how to pronounce it, and it's wonderful and I love it. Ooh, hi Belly. Belly goes grumble, grumble, grumble. I need to eat breakfast. We're going to grab the 64-bit version here from Nexus, and we're going to do basically what we've done before. Going to extract this. It has a subfolder just called Champollion something. I'm going to get rid of the version and put it in Tools so that we're building up this nice little collection of our tools. So let's go to a PEX file in scripts and let's double click on it. And we will always associate Champollion. Before we do it, in Tools, Champollion, there's this little thing. It'll probably do a black screen, it may not. I had to click OK, hence a black screen, but it was really, really fast. Setup successful. Now, so that was a distributable that we had to install. Now scripts, we'll just double click on the first one, associate it, go to Tools. This always seems to not work the first time I do it. I did an association, but nothing happened, but you can see the little icon change, so double click this first one. And now there's a PSC file. Pick another one. PEX. And now there's a PSC file. We can open up any of these PSC files, and it'll show that it was decompiled by Champollion. So that's great, and you will definitely want that in your modding life to take scripts that have been provided by mod authors if they didn't provide their source, which folks probably do accidentally sometimes. So we have meshes, textures, scripts. We don't have save games, so I want to get that over and done with before I forget. Your save games are found in Documents, My Game, Skyrim Special Edition, Saves. So here's a bunch of them. We're going to download Resaver, which is part of Fallroom Tools. And go to Files, and it'll show both Fallroom Tools and Resaver, and I always choose Resaver. I feel like I saw it was updated more recently once. I don't know, because it has a higher version number. Once we run it for the first time, it'll ask us to install Java. You could do it right now manually, or you can just run it for the first time. So I'm going to extract it. It might have a subdirectory. Nope. Call this resaver. Go over to tools. I'll just run it once the first time, and it'll ask to install Java, and it'll pop up the URL to do that. And I'll run the installer. It may or may not do a black screen. And it did, and I had to click yes. And here's the installer. I'll just hit install. And that finished running. So let's open up one of our save games. Let's just double click on one of these. More apps. Look for an app on the PC. Go to tools and resaver, and open up resaver. You might not think that it'll be a part of your modding life to open up save files, but it will be part of your modding life to open up save files. All scripts can be found under scripts, and you can see all of the variables on all of your scripts, both properties, which these are, and private variables, which this is an example of. And you can also, if any of your users are having problems with your mod, you could always ask them to make a save game and send you the ESS Elder Scrolls save file from their saves folder, and so that then you could open this up and look at the state of your script and see what all the property values are and things like that to maybe debug why your user may be having a problem. All right, so back to downloads, we will do sound. We'll go to voice. We're not going to deal with doing anything with XWM files here, but we will be able to extract fuzz files. We will not be making a file association because I haven't been able to find something that works for that. But what we will do is we'll download Lazy Tools Skyrim and end up on it for a Skyrim Special Edition, and we'll download it. There's two versions of it. We want the top version. Not Lazy Body. I can't believe I clicked on. Come on, Lazy Tools, Lazy Audio. I'm a goof. I'm a goof. Skyrim. You will just be clicking from the video description. I'm just looking like an idiot here trying to click around. And you don't want this one. You want this one. So manual download. Save file. I'll open her up, and it's got a little Lazy Audio inside of it. We'll drag this over to tools, and now we have this in tools. This works differently from the other ones, but it works well for me, and I haven't been able to get the other apps working yet. If I go to downloads and head back into that sound voice folder and just grab any one of these, it's one that maybe is unique. Sure. You go to audio and you just copy these over. You put them in the audio folder, and then there's a README that tells you how to do it. If you have a fuzz file, you can extract the wave and lip from it by doing audio to wave. Completed. And now if we open up the converted directory, so we can get rid of everything we put into audio, we go to the converted directory, and here's some lip files and whoops, some wave files. If I play one of these waves, and that is it. So let's go back to this screen and see what I'm missing. SSE edit, let's see, GIMP DDS, resaver. Okay, Beth and I, let's see if I'll have to pause for that. Let's grab Beth and I'll have to show you. Let's grab both of them, and then after I've got a quick meeting, I will show you how to use them both. We're looking for a certain build of Xedit called SSE edit. Now, Xedit is a wonderful tool. It's an amazing tool that has different builds for Fallout, Oblivion, Skyrim, Legendary, Skyrim Special Edition. If on forums you see people refer to Xedit or Test5 edit, like TSV edit, or SSE edit, those are all referring to the same tool. So we want the build called SSE edit. It's 2 E's. Grab it on Nexus from Files. Save. And then while I'm at it, I'll grab Beth INI. So I'm not showing you. I switched away from the desktop because I'm a goof. Here's Xedit. SSE edit. Files. Download. Save. Beth INI. Skyrim. Nexus. Files. Save. I'll just extract these both and get ready to show you them in a moment. So the Beth INI one, I think, has a subfolder called Beth INI standalone. I'm just going to call it Beth INI. Put it in my tools. And then I've got SSE edit. Extract that. Just going to call it SSE edit. Put it in my tools. Get rid of everything here. Go to tools and cool. We're at 16 minutes, not bad. I'll come back and we will do these in a moment. Be right back. And we're back. Let's look at these last two tools so that we can wrap it up. We'll do SSE edit last because it's amazing. Beth INI is just a really nice tool for editing your Skyrim Special Edition Skyrim.ini. If you haven't run it before, you'll get a little drop-down choice to choose which game you're using it for. I love using its recommended tweaks. You can set whatever your preset is. I have a laptop that runs Skyrim on an Intel Iris Plus integrated graphics card, and it runs really well thanks to Beth INI on the low setting. But you can use the recommended tweaks. We can make sure that our Papyrus logging and tracing are on and things like that. And save and exit, hoping that the recommended tweaks didn't turn those off. Nope, but I want debug info. Save. I wonder if there's a gotcha and it doesn't remember that that's turned on. Whatever. It's a nice tool. There's a gotcha. If you're using Mod Organizer 2, you'll have to tell it to use a different directory. If you're not using the global INI configuration for Mod Organizer 2, if you watched our Mod Manager episode, then you'll notice that all the way through I used the global INI. I like just having one Skyrim.ini in my game, Skyrim Special Edition, that I manage. I don't personally have different ones for different profiles. Now the fun one, SSE edit. SSE edit is dope and amazing. It's like a mini version of the creation kit. If we run it, the first time you'll get this, and you'll get this, and you'll get a bunch of tips once it lets you close this. It'll load everything that's available in the Skyrim data directory. So for us right now, it's not showing any mods because we don't have any of our mods in the data directory. We have ours set up using Mod Organizer 2. It shows all these tips that I found really hard to get rid of, so I just close it. And we're actually going to run it for Mod Organizer 2 anyway. So here we go to our edit for our drop downs and we add from file, go to your SSE edit and double click on that, and there we go. If we were making changes to a particular mod, like the pickup lines one that we made in the Visual Studio Code episode, you want to check that so it saves all of its changes there. Let's use it to ESLify that plugin. So we'll hit OK. We'll run SSE edit. We'll just choose pickup lines. We'll hit OK. It'll show stuff on the left. If you want to try and right click on any of these items, the right click is disabled until down here the background loader finishes. So it says still building references. We'll wait for it. And it finished, and we can do things like right click on these things, and if we expand it we can go to the file header, we can change its record flags. Now note, if we do close this and rerun it, that background loading should happen pretty instantaneously. That's because it saves a cache. So if we were to go to our mods folder for pickup lines, we'll actually see that there's an SSE edit cache, so just know that that directory exists. So we'll open up our mod, go to file header, we'll go to record flags and do edit. It'll ask us if we really want to edit, and in this case yes we do, and we can flag this as an ESL and then just save, and now we've ESLified this. It'll give you an option to back up the ESP if you want to. We won't, we'll just overwrite it. And you could use this to edit anything in any mods. We can even use it to make a new mod. If we were to go to Mod Organizer 2, I'll just show you this as like a bonus. Let's make a new mod, and I'll call it Cure Wounds, and what I'll do is I'll rename the healing spell from Skyrim Cure Wounds, like from Dungeons and Dragons. So I just need to configure this to save inside of my new Cure Wounds mod that I'm making. I'll run it. I'll select nothing except for Skyrim, because Skyrim has the healing spell that I want, and I'll wait for it to finish loading. And it looks like it's loaded, so I'm just going to go to the spells in Skyrim, and if you've used Creation Kit, this will look kind of familiar. It looks a lot like the tree in Creation Kit. So we're going to go to spells, here's healing. I'm going to copy the healing spell into a new ESP plugin so that we can overwrite it. It'll give us the same nastygram. Are we really sure we want to make a change? We do. We'll put this into a new ESLified ESP. There's 4 different options for ESPs. Here's the one that will support ESL if your mod can, or here's a normal one. These ones would be flagged as masters. You don't want an ESM or an ESL unless you know exactly what you're doing and why. Cure Wounds. Here's the version from Skyrim. Here's the version in my new ASP, as you can see up here, that I'm going to create. We don't want the editor ID. We want the full name. So I'm going to rename this Cure Wounds. Save. Save. Make this new Cure Wounds ESP. Cool. Cool. If we went to our mods folder, we would see this new mod got created just with one ESP file. I don't think I ESLified that, but I could have. And now, of course, if I check it and I run Skyrim, then healing will be it will have a different name. So we can COC Riverwood. Oh, normally I turn off that Steam overlay. It's really annoying when you type in the console. Spells, restoration, and it's called Cure Wounds, and here's this random dude. Cool. Alright, that is it. This was a pretty clunky episode. I apologize for that. I kind of maybe want to re-record this series. I had to memorize a lot for this series. So this is episode 5. I feel like the VS Code one was a little bit clunky too, so maybe I'll re-record this series, but kind of want to get it out there, and this one's maybe no big deal. It's a very loud car, except for the fact that you should know that all these exist. SSE edit, it may be, oh, I can't go that far, look, my hand disappears. Maybe one of the most important, you definitely want to use the PEX decompiler. You're going to need to expand BSA files constantly. If you want to create fuzz files or extract them, you've got your lazy audio, you've got your NIF scope for your NIFs, you got your DDS, and what do we got over here? We got our save games, which is surprisingly useful, and we got our BethINI, which comes in handy. One of the things that the recommended tweaks does that I really like is it one of the recommended tweaks that it does, yeah, I know we're running Mod Organizer, I just want to show people things, is it turns off intro logos. So as a modder, And if I hover over this, it'll probably show what the name of the option is. It's S intro sequence. It's really, really nice as a modder having that turned off so that when we actually run Skyrim, we don't get that bum, 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 which is cute and lovely, but it just, it's really annoying when you run Skyrim like a trillion times a day. So, peace and thank you. And how long was this one? This one I split into 2 files, so we've been going for 17 plus 8 minutes. Not bad. I'm gonna wrap up this series. I hope we got you somewhat set up. This is as quick as I could go. You might want to check out to our YouTube right now. Ooh, we got a new subscriber. I just posted this online yesterday. There's an intro to Skyrim modding screencast series. Here's what it looks like. Goes through a lot of things in more detail. When we do things like everything from mod organizers to Visual Studio Code to really everything, we go into detail. Like in the Visual Studio Code episode, last episode, we talked about SKSE for like 2 minutes. And here we have an entire episode about SKSE, how to kind of use it, what it is, why you use it, as well as the debugger totally split out into its own episode, which is less clunky than the one that I recorded last episode, is episode 4 of this short episode series. So thank you, and as I normally say in all of my regular screencasts, happy modding. All right, I'll see you soon. Hey y'all, I'm back. I forgot one tool that I want to make sure that you get. So if you go to your data directory, now that we have the Bethesda Archive Extractor, we can easily open up any of these. And if you go to interface, you'll see that this has a number of Swift files. Now these are Flash files. So the easiest way to open up these, let me extract these to my download folder like we did earlier. Download, select folder, is using the JPEX decompiler for Flash. So search for this or just Flash decompiler and it may be one of the first options. We're going to grab the latest release. I'm going to use the Windows installer and it might do that black screen. Let's see. Yep, you see a black screen while I was asked to choose yes, and now we do this, and it's going to associate, I don't need a desktop shortcut. It's going to associate your Swift files with this program. I don't want you to be without this program because it's really cool. Alright, that's fine. I haven't seen that before, but whatever. I'll run it. Maybe, I don't know if you need to run it once to associate with stuff. I'm just going to close it. And I'm going to head back to our downloads folder where we extracted the interface BSA. And so I'm going to look at one that I've been looking at a lot, which is for the console, like the thing that goes whoop, whoop. It's going to ask about some missing assets. You can try and find some of them. It generally doesn't matter. Let's just say no to all. We don't need whatever font or whatever. And then in here, for example, you should be able to see something like whoop, whoop. You can see that that's kind of annoying. It's really fast. But that's what the console looks like. And whenever you open this, you usually want to go into scripts and then packages and then look for whatever's listed under packages. So here's all the ActionScript code for the console. If we were to open up something else like, I don't know, the dialog menu, I haven't opened up this one before. No to all. Open up on another window because it doesn't know I'm screencasting. And we will go to scripts, packages, and there's like the dialog menu and all of the code for it. And all of this code can be called from Papyrus scripts using the UI invoke functions, but that's a little bit more advanced, and we cover things like that right now in my custom console commands series, and maybe I'll do a little episode just on calling Flash stuff because it's cool. I did not want you to leave without that. I rewatched my episode. I thought it was adorable when I accidentally played the intro and outro music. This time, I'm going to play that music intentionally. All right, peace, y'all. Happy modding.